guess he was kind of like my sugar daddy, but I didn't give him none, so don't get it twisted. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Sophia, and on this channel I'm going to be telling stories. I am going to be spilling all the tea. I'm going to be telling you all of the chisme, everything. So get comfortable, grab a blanket, grab some snacks, grab a friend, grab your grandma, grab your grandpa, grab your mama, grab your dog. Just get comfortable because I'm about to tell you a really good story. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe below. If you're not already following me on social media, I'm going to leave it somewhere here on the screen for you to follow me. I'm also going to leave it down in the description box below. So if you guys are ready to hear about the time this guy ended up being like 16 years older than me, go ahead and keep on watching. So I'm just going to jump right into it. This story takes place when I was 19 years old and I was working at a new restaurant, and I've always kind of worked at restaurants. I started working, I don't know if you count this as a restaurant, I started working at Dairy Queen, and then after Dairy Queen I worked at a ton of different other restaurants. I started as a hostess and as a busser in one restaurant because we moved to a city and I needed to get a new job, and so I got this job at a restaurant, of course, and I loved being a hostess. I loved being a busser because I was able to conversate and talk with tons of different kinds of people, and I wasn't just stuck at a desk and stuff like that. So being a hostess, being a busser, I was always able to talk to people. Busser, not too much, but hostesses, yeah, like I'm constantly always talking to people, different kinds of people giving me attitude, people not giving me attitude, you know, telling me, you know, whatever, this and that. So I really liked working in restaurants because I always got to talk to people. So after about more than 2 years of working at this restaurant, we ended up moving cities again. So I moved to another city, which means I had to move jobs as well. So I got a job at another restaurant, but this time I got a job as a server, and I got the job like this. Literally, when I tell you guys that I walked in asking, hey, are you guys hiring? The hostess, she's like, oh yeah, let me go to my manager. She came back with her manager. Her manager asked me like, hey, what kind of job are you looking for? And I was like, oh, I was hoping to be a server. Okay, do you have any experience? Yeah, I worked at a restaurant being a hostess and a busser for a little bit more than 2 years. Okay, sounds good. And I was like, wait, what? Like, that was a little too easy. And I was like, well, okay. I was low-key really excited because I wanted to be a server. Like I said, I was a hostess and a busser for more than 2 years. I wanted to be a server. I wanted to start making my money. And so that's exactly what I started to do. I started being a server. I started making my money. But it turns out this job that I had, I really, really did not like it. I was not excited to go to work. My coworkers and I mean, some of them I got along with. Some of them just really minded their own business, not social at all. And like I said, for me, like, I want to have a job where I want to go to work. I want to have a job where I'm excited to see my coworkers. Hey, remember when this happened? Oh my god, you have no idea what I did yesterday. And just excited to go to work. And that job was just not it. I was not excited to see my managers. I was not excited to go make my money, and I love making my money. So it turned into something where I went to work, I clocked in, made my money, and I left. Like, I didn't even stay after work to do extra work. I didn't conversate with a lot of my coworkers. Like, I was really just there to make my money and leave. And so I got a new job. I started job hunting, and so I walked into this one restaurant and I just asked for the manager. Sure enough, the manager came, told me to apply online and then, you know, wait for a call. So that's exactly what I did. I applied online, and like I said, you guys, I really did not think I was going to get this job. And sure enough, I got a phone call saying, hey, you know, come in for an interview. So I said, okay. And so I went in for my interview, and that same manager, she started me off with, like, she was the one to give me my interview. And so I'm pretty good with interviews. Like, I'm really laid back about it, and I'm really just, it's easy to me because, like I said, I'm a social person, and I can just, like, kind of just bullshit my way through an interview. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So I literally, that's basically what I did, and she really seemed to like me. But as we kept talking, it became just a little easier. Like, I wasn't really nervous to begin with. Like, I really didn't think I was gonna get this job, and that's why I was kind of like, well, okay, I'll just be myself. And so I guess that kind of worked. And so she had left because she told me she was gonna go get another manager to have like a second interview with me at that table. We were in the back, so at that same table, he or she was gonna come by and give me like a second interview right there on the spot. And I was like, okay, I had no idea, like I'm not ready for this. And the second manager took forever and a day to come to the table, and I'm like, oh my god, they're so busy. So I kind of started getting nervous again. I was like, okay, like I don't know if I can handle this. Like, my job previous to this was super easy and is nothing like this. I got the job like that, and here it's like manager, like this and that, and they're super busy and they're taking so long, and I don't know if I can do this or whatever. And I'm like, oh my god, Sophia, relax. And so sure enough, the manager came, and you guys, I was nervous for nothing. He was really funny. He really helped me feel relaxed, and he was cracking jokes and just everything like that, and he really liked me. And so I was like, oh my gosh, why did I just work myself up over nothing? So as you can see, I got hired. He told me, okay, you're gonna come in, you're gonna have 5 days of training, and after these 5 days of training, we're gonna throw you on the floor by yourself. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And so, like I said, my previous job, I got along with a couple coworkers, and so at this job, you guys, when I tell you it was like a family, it was like a family. Literally everybody got along, and I can't really think of anybody that didn't really like somebody. And we all, like I said, we all got along. I enjoyed going to work. I really liked, putting on my uniform and going to work and seeing my coworkers and talking to the guests and just interacting with the chefs and just talking to my managers, because my managers were really chill. Like, I was super nervous that they were going to be super like demanding and everything like that. No, they were not demanding at all. And so, moral of the story, I loved this job. I loved this job. I loved going to work. The first month of me working at this job, I was still with my ex-boyfriend. And I'm going to make a series probably of all the stories about my ex, because there are so many stories. I'm not sure what I'm going to name the series yet, but I'm probably going to make a series, and those stories are super juicy, and I'm sure you guys would love to hear them, but that's separate. That has nothing to do with this. After a month of me working at this restaurant, we had broken up, and that was probably one of the best decisions ever. So I was at this new job. I was out of a relationship that I had been in for more than 2 years, and I was ready to meet people, and that's exactly what I did. I started talking to my coworkers. I got along with all of them, and I know that's unheard of, but I got along with all of my coworkers. I started to join them when they would go out to play pool, or when they would go out to go bowling. And then slowly but surely, I would hang out with some of them outside of work. And it was, like, obviously bowling and stuff is outside of work, but we do that like after work. Like, outside of work, like outside, like on our days off, I would go and hang out with them, and then we'd have like outings and just like stuff like that. And so when I say everybody went out, like everybody went out, like on the people that could, like there was bartenders, sometimes there was chefs that would come with us, mainly the servers. And the servers, the ages of people that would hang out with each other was probably, like, I was probably one of the youngest ones there. Like, I don't think there was anybody younger than me. Like I said, I was 19, and everybody else there was maybe the oldest, I want to say, other than the chefs, because the chefs, they're like older, majority of them, but like the servers and bartenders, I want to say like maybe 27. Like, we're all around the same age, within like maximum 10-year age difference. And so because we always went out, there was this one coworker who, I guess, he noticed me, and he really took an interest in me, and he would really try to tell me, hey, let's hang out, or hey, let's go do this. And I would just tell him, like, no, I'm hanging out with my friends, like I'm just gonna go with them, or I'm just gonna go home, or whatever, this and that. So fast forward a little bit, he just kept trying, but he was pretty respectful about it. Like, he wasn't super pushy, he wasn't super clingy. Every once in a while he would give me the look, like, the look, like when you see somebody like who you think's really cute, he'd give me a look, but he wouldn't do too much. And honestly, it was kind of the attention that I liked after this relationship that I was in, because that relationship was not like that. And so I was like, okay, I was like, maybe I should give it a shot. Maybe I'm being too stubborn. Maybe I'm being too hard on myself. But there's nothing wrong with hanging out with friends. Like, I was just going back and forth. But I was like, you know what? Maybe I should give it a shot. Maybe it's good for me. So we ended up exchanging Snapchats. And fast forward a little bit, it wasn't like an everyday talking all day, every day type of thing. But, you know, we would talk every once in a while. I wouldn't work with him every day, but when I did work with him, talk every once in a while. Like I said, like, he wasn't super clingy or anything like that. And I was like, okay, like, this is great. This is like the total opposite of what I was used to. So it's kind of nice to be able to breathe and to have some space. And one day he mentioned to me, he's like, hey, this new movie is coming out. Let's go see it. And like I said, I kind of wanted to give it a chance because I hadn't really been in the game like that for a while. And like I said, I was just enjoying myself. And so I said, okay, you know, that sounds good. And so he had talked about picking me up at my house. I let him come pick me up, but I did not let him come pick me up at my house. No. So where I live very close to a park. And so I allowed him to go to the park, and I wanted him to go to one of the parking lots in the park, and I told him I would walk over there and go to his car, and then from there we can go to the movies. And he had no problem with it. He was like, okay. So I was like, okay, you know, whatever. I was like, okay. And so I walk over, and you know, he's there, he's waiting for me, and he's sitting in his driver's seat. And so as I'm walking up to the car, you know, he looks over, he sees me, he gets out of the car, goes over to the passenger side door, opens the car door for me, and lets me go in the car. And I was like, oh, okay, like, that was really nice. Like, you guys, I'm telling you, I was not used to this. I was not used to this at all. So he gives me a little hug, like a side hug or whatever, nothing too much. And then he lets me go in the car. And then we go to the movies. I'm thinking we're going to go straight to the movies. You know, we're going to get some popcorn. You guys, I hate popcorn, but I was just going to say, I was planning on saying I'll just get some candy or like a soda or something because, you guys, I don't like popcorn. But he ended up telling me, hey, let's go into Safeway first. We can get some snacks there, put them in your purse, and then we can sneak them into the movie. And I was like, okay, like, that sounds like fun. Like, sure, a little mini adventure before you go into the movies, I'm down. And so he did. He parked in the parking lot, and we walked our asses into Safeway. And once we got into Safeway, we picked out some snacks and some drinks that were in like the can, and we were able to put them in my purse. My purse was pretty big, so we were able to put them in my purse. And then we walked over to the movie theater. He pays for the tickets, and we go up and we go into the movies. He had chosen a scary movie, and I want to say he either did this on purpose or it was a new movie and he wanted to go watch it because it just came out, which it did just come out. But nah, I can see you. I knew what you're doing. So whatever, we go into the movie. He sits on my left, I sit on the right, and we're like halfway through the movie, and he tries to pull a move. And so he puts his hand on my knee, and he put it on my knee. And honestly, because he was really funny, I thought, I mean, he was pretty good looking, he was around my age, he was outgoing and whatever. I was like, okay, like, I'm giving it a shot, Sophia, it's okay, like, you need to get out there, you know, you're gonna be fine, like, what's the worst that could happen? And I'm like, Sophia, relax. So he puts his hand on my knee, and I don't touch his hand, I don't make a move, I don't put my hand on his knee, on his leg, on his arm, I don't cuddle, nothing. I'm just sitting there watching my movie, what I came to do, and he puts his hand on my knee, whatever. He doesn't put his hand up my leg or nothing like that. Literally, he had his hand on my knee, and that was it. Movie ended. You know, we walk out, and I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna go to the car, and then after we go to the car, you know, he's gonna take me home. After we walk out of the movie theater, he tells me, hey, are you hungry? And I'm like, yes, I am hungry. I'm always hungry. And so I told him, I said, yeah, I'm hungry. And he goes, okay, you wanna go get something to eat? And I was like, okay, like, that's cool. So we're walking over. We walk over, we go to a restaurant, we grab some sushi, and while we're there, he's joking around about how much older he is than me. And I'm like, you are not older than me. Like, I'm sure you're older than me. Obviously, everybody's older than me. Like, I'm the youngest one there. Like, I'm 19. I'm sure you are older than me. He goes, no, I am. And I was like, okay, well, how old are you? He's like, I'm like 30. And I'm like, no, you're not. And he goes, yeah, I am. And I was like, you are not 30. And he goes, I am. And I was like, okay, well, let me see your ID. And he's like, no, because you're going to stop talking to me. You're going to be mad at me. You're not going to want to see me. And I was like, well, if you really are 30, then just show me your ID. Duh. And so he's like, no, I'll just show you later. And I was like, okay, well, at the end of this date or whatever this is, you're going to show me your ID because I want to see how old you are. And he's like, okay, but at the end. And I was like, okay, at the end, sure, you can, whatever, you can show me your ID, whatever. And so we finished eating, and you guys, it wasn't awkward, and I really did feel like I was kind of enjoying myself. I'm not even gonna lie. And so we finished eating, you know, he pays for the dinner. So we were walking from the restaurant and we're walking back to the car because I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna take me home. So we sit in the car and I'm like about to put on my seatbelt because I'm thinking he's gonna take me home, right? I mean, we went to Safeway, we went to the movies, we just had dinner, like I'm thinking he's gonna take me home. So he's looking around, he hadn't put on a seatbelt yet, he hadn't started his car yet. He's looking around at all the shops in the shopping center and he sees a Starbucks. And he's like, you wanna go get some Starbucks? And I was like, damn! Okay. I was like, okay, you know, sure, like, shit, I love Starbucks. So I was like, okay. And so he's like, yeah, come on, let's go. And in my head, once I said yes to Starbucks, I was like, this boy is stalling. He is stalling because he does not want to show me his ID. But shit, I love Starbucks, so I'm gonna let him buy me some Starbucks. But he was, yeah, he kind of like, he told me, let's go get some Starbucks. I was like, okay, let's go get some Starbucks. So we walked in, got our Starbucks, we came back to the car. And so I called him out and I said, okay, we went to Safeway, we went to the movies, we went to go have dinner, we got Starbucks. That's 4 things. Let me see your ID. Pull out your ID, I want to see it. And so he did. He pulled out his ID and he kind of was very resistant of giving it to me. And so what I did, I snatched that shit real quick. I snatched it and I look at his ID. You guys, oh my God. I look at his ID and I look at him and I look at his ID and I look at him. Look at the date, the birthday, the year that he was born. Of course, that's what I'm looking at. I hand that shit back to him and I said, can you take me home, please? Can you take me home, please? And you guys, the way he looked at me was like, seriously? And I was like, can you take me home, please? Y'all, he was 35 years old. He was 35 years old. Y'all, he could have been my dad. Like, he could have been my dad. He had to have started young. Like, young. But it's possible he could have been my dad. Like, he was old. Like, okay, it's one thing to date older men, but ew, like, no. And so I was immediately creeped out. Like, the first thing I thought of was he put his hand on my leg. He put his hand on my knee and I was just not okay with that. Like, he knew how old he was. I thought he was joking the whole time because, like I said, he was funny. He was outgoing. He got along with everybody. Everybody got along with him and he just cracked jokes all the time. And so for me, I was like, oh, you crack jokes all the time. You're just joking. Nah, he was not joking. This fool told me he was 30 and I'm like, no, you're not. Nah, he wasn't. He was 35. And so I was like, can you take me home, please? And so he did. He slowly started his car and I was just sitting in the car. Like, guys, it was awkward. That ride home was so awkward. And hell no, I did not. Hell no, I did not let him take me to my house. I let him take me to that parking lot that he picked me up at. And y'all, this is why you should not let a guy pick you up at your house for the first time. Because imagine if I did, now he knows where I live. Now, like, what if he was like worse than that? Because y'all know things could always be worse. What if it was worse than that? What if he actually tried to do something? So he dropped me off in the parking lot and took off my seatbelt. I literally looked at him and I just opened the car door and I walked home. I felt kind of disrespected because maybe I should have investigated a little bit more. Maybe I should have been more persistent. Maybe I should have asked him more questions about his age. But like I said, he joked around a lot, so I thought he was joking. But for him to joke around in the beginning and say that he was 19 when really he's 35, yeah, you don't do that. Like, you can pretend you're 19 and be like 23 or whatever because you can probably pass. But y'all, like, I'm telling you, he did not look 35. Like, he looked young. He looked young. And it was crazy because I got a free movie out of it. I got free dinner and I got free Starbucks. And he drove me like to and from. So, I mean, I guess he was kind of like my sugar daddy, but I didn't give him no, so don't get it twisted. So that's basically what happened. Fast forward a couple months, he ended up telling me that he was expecting with this girl from like his past or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, I dodged a bullet with that one. Like, thank god, like I didn't have to deal with that baby mama drama. Like, so yeah, so that's the story of the time that I ended up going on a date with somebody who was 16 years older than me and I did not know. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up and let me know if you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, I just really want to know what kind of stories you guys want to hear. Like I said, I have so many stories. I cannot wait to share with you guys. I'm going to be sharing them soon, so hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, follow my social media, hit the like button, and I will see you guys in my next video.